worst thing that could happen to anyone was happening to Marty Meierotto of Mountain Men. His life went from being one of the best parts of Mountain Men to being a tragedy. It was a bad turn for his career, which had been going well. How did Marty handle the hard times in his life? Did he make it through the hard times he was through? This is Marty's life story and how he dealt with being wild. Watch out. What does Marty Meierotto do? His birthday is July 10, 1966, and he was born in North Wisconsin, USA. The desert has always been important to his parents, Thomas and Karen Meierotto. He became interested in his family's fur hunting business when he was young. He and his brothers, Jeff and Steve Meierotto, spent their childhood traveling through the cold lands. In his younger years, he loved chasing animals that other kids would run away from. I love going after wolves. After grade school and high school, he turned down the chance to go to college to work for his family trapped furs. He found, though, that it was hard to do that kind of business in North Wisconsin. It was tough to win because there weren't many wild animals to catch. In 1985, he took a step to leave the city. He and his brother Jeff went to Alaska to look for fur. That's where a lot of animals were found. Their short-term goal was to trap fur in a cold state. But as time went on, they couldn't stay away from Alaska's beauty and peace. They loved the land so much that they chose to stay longer. Marty took on a few odd jobs to make extra cash for his trapping business. In Fairbanks, he worked as a cleaner. To get enough money for his first trap and tent, he worked as a lumberjack and in building. He never missed a chance to go trapping when he had some free time. He loved living in Alaska, even though it wasn't always easy. He wasn't against getting other jobs to help him reach his goal of making a living in the desert. There were a few years of work before he quit his job to become a hunter full-time. Because this was such a big step, he had to learn how to survive in Alaska's hard weather. For the cold Alaskan weather, he built himself a small house that was easy to heat. He would set traps about 200 miles north of Fairbanks to catch animals. That was how strong his resolve was, even when it was 30 to 40 degrees below zero. In Alaska's winter, when the days are short and the nights are long, he spent time outside. Marty took his trapping business to a bigger level by adding more houses along his lines so that people could stay safe. The idea of Marty leaving the comforts of home to live in the cold woods was hard for many of his friends to understand, but he was set on making his dream come true. How he started, Meierotto went on a trip to follow an interest which kept him out in the wild for many years. Many people would never be brave enough to stay close to their family and stay alive in the cold. He was able to make it all work, though. He is a great catcher who has ever lived. Marty jumped smoke too. In 1994, he got a job as a smoke jumper with the Alaska Fire Service. He kept track of 337 jumps and 114 fire replies. Marty did other things besides stopping fires. In 1988, he started his job. He was a firefighter in the China Joint Hotshot who worked in the wild. In 1994, the service took in 8 applicants, but only finished 4. Marty was one of the 4 people who made it through the tough training. He also trained and got other people ready for the trip. He liked to fly. It was something he really loved. It was always his dream to be a pilot, and he found a way to make it work with his life in the woods. Even though Marty was a trapper full-time, he wasn't totally dependent on the job. The trapping season wasn't always in full swing in the summer. During this season, he used it to help his other projects. At those times, he switched jobs and went to different parts of the state to fight fires. He got to places that were on fire by using parachutes. he was always excited about the job because he knew a lot about Alaska. It also helped him support his wife and daughter by giving him extra money. Marty liked being with his family in the open fields. It was his favorite place to visit. During the very cold winters, he lives in a simple one-room shack. After a few cold nights, the catching work he did caught the attention of people who make shows for the History Channel. They found it amazing that someone could live in the wild and thought it was a great show. History Channel made Marty an offer that he couldn't refuse. He started a video series to show how good he was at catching and were seen on TV in 2012. He not only showed what he loved, but he also made money and became well known. He got more fans and was known as Marty Meierotto's Mountain Man. How did you think he did on the show? Why did he quit if it was so good? Hold on tight as we learn about this legend's life and how he dealt with problems in Alaska. Mountain Men. The first episode of Mountain Men aired on May 31, 2012. For decades, people have been fascinated by the reality TV show that shows how the lives of those who live in the rough woods. Fans who watch the show all the way through say it's a mix of excitement, danger, and getting by on your own. They always look forward to new, exciting episodes of survival, hunting, and bushcraft. With the start of a new season come both returning cast members and possible new ones. The new people bring new ideas to the way of life in the desert. The actors have heart-pounding meetings with nature, have to make tough choices about survival, and show the unwavering spirit that makes men who dare to explore hard deserts men. Marty let people see a part of his life that not many people get to see for themselves. He wasn't the only cast member though. Other people who lived in the woods and were on the famous History Channel show Mountain Men were Tom Orr, Eustace Conway, Preston Roberts, Jake Herrick, Brett Bone and Mike Horseman. Eustace Conway lives on a piece of land in North Carolina's Blue Ridge Mountains. He calls this place Turtle Island and lets people stay who want to learn basic survival skills for the wild. It's also possible for Conway to make money by collecting firewood using old methods. Tom Orr is another actor who plays a part in Mountain Men. He lives in northwestern Montana with his wife Nancy and their dog Ellie close to the Yak River. Tom turns game animal skins into leather. He knows how to use natural Native American ways. Jake Herrick is another actor who hunts mountain lions. He lives in the Tobacco Root Mountains in Montana and has been on Mountain Men a lot since it started in 2018. People were interested in him because he was good at shooting. The TV celebrity from 1989 had an experience that was different from most of the other group members. Jake was touched by the fact that his father had cancer and fought it for many years. One of his needs was to find peace in nature. He asked his longtime girlfriend Annika Ward to marry him in 2021. Mike Horseman has been a bear shooting guide for a long time. He and his dog Adele ran away to Kodiak Island in Alaska. In the Mountain Men cast, he is a famous figure who has been on a number of reality TV shows. He was born on December 19, 1954. Even though he is over 70 years old, the Jonesville local still loves being outside. He played shooting games and went hunting with his uncles when he was a kid. During his teen years, he became interested in many things and often daydreamed about hunting in Alaska. He was 17 years old when he killed his first bear. Now he was ready for an adventure in Alaska. Mike hasn't lived in Kodiak for more than 40 years. He loves his house on the coast, which is so far away that it can only be reached by boat or plane. This doesn't worry him. In the wild, he learned how to stay alive and make money. He does everything he can and leads bear hunts for 11 weeks a year. Marty was an important part of the show, just like the other guys who show fans how to do things in the outdoors. This is my church. He said, "This is where I feel most like myself in every episode." The group was in danger. Fans always felt nervous as they watched the group show how they would stay alive. Fans were interested in the mountain men throughout every season. Their dogs tracked and scared away bears, and they built huge houses over hundreds of miles of rough terrain. They loved seeing how determined they were to keep going, even though life was hard out in the wild. A lot of people liked the show on well-known viewing sites. It got a score of 7.3 on IMDb and an 80% score on Rotten Tomatoes. An impressive number of people watch a show about people who live strange lives. It also means a lot of money for the people who make the show, which means the actors get paid more. How much does each episode of Mountain Men make? Even though they are old, they are some of the best paid stars in the business. Even though their life in the woods doesn't look very fancy, they have a lot of money. It is said that each group member makes $3,500, 0 cents per show. The actors still get paid well, even though their pay is sometimes changed based on how much they do. Tom is an actor who makes a lot of money from the show. He was in every show and got $15,000, 0 cents for each one. It is thought that he is worth $2,000, 0 cents altogether. Eustace also makes $130,000, 0 cents a year through work. Many people love him because of how good he is at what he does. The builder and environmentalist has come a long way on the History Channel and in other shows such as Recon Virgins. Even though he has degrees in history and English from Appalachian State University, Mountain Man, who was born in 1961, still wants to work in reality TV. Jake Herrick has a net worth of $70,000, 0 cents, and makes $10,000, 0 cents from Mountain Man. Mike Horseman is one of the older actors on the show. He has a net worth of $500,000, 0 cents, and makes $70, 0 cents a year. The mountain men live in the middle of Alaska and don't mind being away from people for hundreds of miles. Everyone else in the group is the same as Marty. The fur seller from Alaska became famous after being shown on TV. He is a catcher, and part of his job is to fight wolverines that are hard to catch. In the show, he was a solo outdoorsman. In every season, he lived by himself. He built his houses and set up his trap lines all by himself. He gets on his sled to check on his traps and see if any animals have been caught already. You can build houses if you have to. You know, it's an ongoing project. He sets his traps during the day to catch wolverines, beavers, minks and rats. A lot of people thought Marty was being brave and doing something strange, but he was just living the life he loved, having fun in the cold. It's become normal for Marty to chase wolves and foxes. He started this journey when he was young, and no one could take it away from him. He became well known by showing off his work on the 8 seasons of the television show Mountain Men on the History Channel. Marty wrote about his life in Two Rivers, Alaska on the 7th season of Mountain Men. He showed times he spent with his family. During the winter, he lived in a one-room shack and rode his sled for miles during the day. Marty was very good at flying a bush plane, so it was easy for him to see the whole country. His fame from the show changed people's lives and gave them hope. He was tough when things got hard, and he stayed strong even though the wild desert was scary. He was a part of the first 8 seasons, having people see how he caught animals and stayed alive while living in the middle of nowhere in the United States. He fought off dogs without a gun on the show. Marty would fly to a house in eastern Alaska to take care of animal traps and gather furs to trade, as shown in a reality show. Marty also used his skills to help other people. A story about Marty's brave actions came out in 2013 in Field and Stream. In an Alaskan winter, Bill Havey talked about how Marty helped him. It was dangerous for the author to visit Marty and follow him into the Alaskan desert. He got lost in the brush and almost passed out from the cold after being with Meierotto for 3 days. I've been writing for 4 hours. As a beginner, I had no idea how hard it was on my body. When you ride in this kind of area, you have to stand up so you can see bumps and holes that are hidden. Thank goodness Bill was able to start a fire, which helped Marty find him in the deep snow. As the weather dropped below 30 degrees, the hunter stepped in and helped him stay alive. Doug's wife, Dominique, also helped Bill stay alive. You should always have a lighter and paper in your pocket when you leave the house, understand? Bill heard her. He learned that not everyone can make it through the Alaskan desert. Bill couldn't believe how smart Marty was and how it helped him stay safe. Martin touched a lot of people outside of the show. Some parts of the show were great, but other parts made him want to give up on the plan. What took place? What did Marty have to deal with? He was criticized, so did he give in? There was fear, sorrow, and debate. Even though he had a big break in his work, some parts of his life were very sad. Many nights, they were afraid of what might be out in the cold woods. At times, he got lost in the woods and couldn't find anyone to help him. A lot of fans didn't know that Marty's plane had crashed. When he was looking at his animal traps in the episode Closet Call of the Mountain Men, his plane almost fell as went into a downward now start. From the Dranjik River on Alaska's northern slope, Marty made a house that was far away. He went there once a month in his Super Cub airplane, which had tires made to handle the cold. But there was one time when it almost crashed. He steadied the plane and made a safe landing, but he was stuck there all night. It was too cold for Marty to go outside, so he had to stay in the house all winter. He tried to find food that would last until the season was over. He learned from that mistake though and went on to make a sled. His brand new machine had some quirks. Without snow, it wouldn't work right. To keep from getting too hot, Marty had to ride in at least 4 inches of snow. He would sometimes stop, often while driving, to pick up handfuls of snow to put against the heat radiator of the car. On the show, he came across a huge bear print on Alaska's Kodiak Island while chasing goat. For Marty, it wasn't an exciting event. They lived in rough places, but there were a lot of mountain goats on Kodiak Island, so he thought it would be a good place to hunt. But he was about to find out something unexpected. In the area he was walking into, he saw bear tracks, which were the first sign of danger. The animals also liked the area, which put Marty in danger. Based on his best guess, the tracks belonged to a brown bear that was at least 9 feet long. This made him more worried and scared. The trapper was scared but ready. He said, "This is exactly what I didn't want to happen." Even though he had a gun to protect himself, he had seen things happen that killed other people, and he had little to no power to stop them. This is one of the things Marty saw and heard while he was in the woods. He also had to see a number of friends die that Preston Roberts had died shocked not only Marty but also the other mountain men. He lived a famous outdoor life that amazed fans with the things he did. He passed away in 2017 after being told he had cancer. A growth on his liver that couldn't be removed made his body shut down very quickly. Marty wrote a touching letter to Preston in which she praised his kindness and said that he always put other people first. He also backed a gift to help Preston's family. 5 weeks after he died, the Outdoorsman's fundraising page had raised more than $110,000, 0 cent. With the money, a new roof was put on the family home, which he had been working on before he died. Marty has had a few of these on the show. He was sad that people who had been important in his life were leaving. This made Marty think again about the path he was taking. Could this be the reason he's leaving the show? Was he scared that he would die? Did the hard weather hurt his health? Was it the fact that his ways of trapping caused a lot of trouble? Animal rights groups have spoken out against Marty, even though he loves nature. They beat him up because he caught animals and hurt them. They say that his ways were wrong because they hurt animals needlessly. The group said that people had all the modern conveniences and didn't need to hunt animals to stay alive. Marty knew what to do when someone attacked him. He said in a number of interviews that he wasn't catching animals just to hurt them. He said that as a hunter, he helps keep Alaska's ecosystem in order. As a professional, he is careful to choose traps that cause animals as little pain as possible and follow Alaska's strict rules on fishing. Marty said that he only hunts animals when it is legal to do so and during certain times of the year. Critics were angry at his answer and said the show lied and staged things to get people to watch. A lot of his fans stood up for him. They said Marty never lied about his life. He showed honest glimpses of the life he had chosen in Alaska when he was on TV. They told stories about his daily life and how he lived each moment, which showed that he was real. There were times when he never told anyone about them. In the middle of the wild, he found a way to live a worthwhile life. Being in the bush in the cold mornings made him stronger and helped him do things that most people would never do. Even though it was hard to stay alive every day, Marty called Alaska home. He loved being able to do what he pleased. Some people think the Alaskan desert was a lonely place, but Marty saw it as a safe place. Eventually, he learned how to walk alone without being bothered by other people. The only sounds he could pick out were the wind and animals howling. He learned to handle stress because he had to work hard for long periods of time. These are the times Marty Meierotto wants to be. He doesn't worry about anything and is content with his simple life. He also wants other people to enjoy the little things in life like he does. Love, marriage, and having a family. A lot of people wondered if Marty was married when he went on TV. Some people thought that his partner would never agree with the way he lived. They were all wrong though, because Dominique Meierotto proved it. She gave up the comforts of city life to join Marty in the cold desert she agrees with and trusts Marty's choices. While on business in Alaska, he met Dominique. Before they got married, they were together for a few years. Their daughter's name is Noya Jane Meierotto. Family is a big part of Meierotto's life. He keeps going by thinking about going home to his wife and daughter. After a long day at work, he loves the easy times he gets to spend with them, like eating dinner and talking by the fire. Noah and Dominique tell him to keep going and not give up. His family is what helps him through the tough times. People really liked Marty when he joined the History Channel team and became a star. Even reviewers who sometimes argued about how realistic the show was praised his bravery. Before Marty made his statement, everything looked fine. He said he would be retiring in 2019 after 8 seasons on reality TV. People were interested in why Marty left Mountain Men. They couldn't figure out why he was stepping away from the scene. Marty said that he liked spending time with his daughter Noah, who was 13 at the time, without the camera. On Kodiak Island, Marty built houses in the cold when he wasn't chasing mountain goats. He was happy with his life, but he didn't want people to be watching him all the time. Noah always helped set up the trapline, and he wanted her to do it without having to worry about the cameras following them around. On the episode, he made it clear that he would not be back on the show. His family is the most important thing to him. He said he wasn't going to give up on his hopes. His family lives by trapping animals, and he wants to teach Noah what he knows. She needs to learn how to hunt from him. It's never easy to say goodbye. Fans couldn't believe that their favorite Mountain Man group members were taking a break. They couldn't stand not seeing him on their screens every week. Even though other actors were in Mountain Man, he was the main character that fans loved. Some people said they weren't the same without Marty. Fans are upset about the news, but they can't say anything bad about Marty for taking care of his child and living his own life. The fur hunter hasn't been heard from in years. Some of his friends were worried that he had disappeared from the public eye. They forget that Marty chose to stay hidden. This is Marty Meierotto. He is still living and lives in a small town in Alaska with his wife and daughter. They spend time together hunting fur in the woods. He likes living a simple, calm life without any problems. Marty likes working on Mountain Men. But his family has always been very important to him. He was never interested in cameras or TV. He liked having a simple, quiet life. It wasn't often that the reality TV star talked about his family or where they were. He set out on the trip because he loved being in the wild. He didn't do it to get more likes. Fans felt extra bad when he left because he was the second original cast member to leave during the 8th season. Before Marty's news came out, Tom Orr told everyone about his plans to retire and move from Montana to Florida. A lot of people were sad that he was leaving the History Channel show Mountain Man, but the hunter gave his choice some thought. That's the choice I made after giving it a lot of thought. It will be great for me and my family. I've done this my whole life. And I've always had a camera with me for the last 8 years. We had a good time telling a story. I hope it helped people understand what it's really like out here. He loved animals, but his family was even more important to him. He wished to be a good husband and father. I'm just a hunter at the end of the day. You won't be thinking about how much money you made or what job you had when you're dying. You will think about what you have done with your life, Marty told her. He wants to spend more time hunting and going on trips with his wife. The 20-year-old Noah still loves the deserts as much as her dad does. He picked his family because it was the most important thing to him. He doesn't feel good when the camera is around. Marty only wants a calm and event-free life. He is very focused on teaching his daughter how to be strong and brave. Fans of Mountain Men will definitely miss the Meierotto family. They miss the rough, independent catching he used to do. Marty was really determined to do something he loves for a living. He looked out at the beautiful snowy mountain range. Fans were always on the edge of their seats when the season came and went. He got things done even though he didn't have any fancy tools, figured out how to get out of tough situations. He would be missed for making tracks, building houses and trapping. Marty Meierotto started out small in his career, but has slowly become a great player over the years. He dealt with all the problems that came up in the wild and showed strength which helped them get through hard times. His main goal with the Mountain Men was to show people what his real life was like as an Alaskan fur trader. His friends will remember how funny and smart he was. You could say Meierotto has done everything at age 59. What else is there to do besides become a pilot, smoke jumper, TV star and fur trapper? Over the years he has worked hard and built up a large net worth. He still does everything he can to support his family. He became wealthy through his good job as a fur hunter. Besides that, he made a lot of money from being on Mountain Man and working as a smoke jumper part-time. He wants to share his love of adventure and understanding of nature with his daughter, Noah, who wants to become a pilot and explore Alaska. Marty is more than just a well-known name and face. He is a man of the wild who knows how to stay alive in the cold Alaskan desert. Many people are inspired by how he deals with the problems he faces every day in the wild. Marty is more than just a mountain man to his fans. They see him as a hero. They admire his courage in facing the difficulties that come with living in the Alaskan desert and see him as a traveler. He really feels like a mountain man. What do you think about Marty Meierotto? After years of trying to make a living as a trapper, do you think he will find a new way to spend his time? Will he keep working on the show or make more TV appearance? Type your ideas in the box below. Thanks for seeing. Please like and subscribe to this channel if you liked this movie. Watch the other videos on your screen before you leave.